What's up, guys? I am back. I have been unplugged for a while. I haven't posted any videos for like the last 3 weeks. Apologize for being out of the loop for so long, but I've been on the road doing a lot of traveling the last past month or so. Started with a family vacation over in the Philippines. Then I came back, and then I was off for a work thing over at near Mount Baker on the Baker River for a project. And then was out for the weekend with the fellas for our annual guys trip. We call it the Freak Trip. And these were the roommates I've known since, we're talking about the early 90s. I've been friends with these, some of these guys. Roommates since the 90s, but friends since, longest friendship I have is with my friend Rob. Been friends since kindergarten. So anyway, 7 of us do a yearly trip, get out of town and just hang out, play Halo, eat a bunch of crappy food, and just get away from the realities of life for a weekend. So I just got back from that. I'm back to normal, more or less. So anyway, that's why I haven't been as active posting things lately. I'm just kind of finally getting back into things. So I will be. I know there's a ton of questions waiting for me to be answered for the Ask Norb segment, which I'm going to do this week. I promise. Been putting it off for a long time. And oh, look at this. I'm working my way down to Highway 18, and look at this beautiful view of Mount Rainier right in front of me. Look at that. Woo! Look at that beautiful view. That is awesome. It's probably too small on this camera, but I didn't have time to frame it up, so I hope you got a glimpse of that. Beautiful day today, but it's supposed to start raining after by this evening for the rest of the week, which is not good because I'm doing production on Thursday, mostly outdoors. Anyway, so going to kind of Seahawks stuff. There hasn't really been a whole lot going on lately as we're in the off-season mode, but tomorrow things will start getting interesting as we start hitting the official start of free agency, and that mostly is going to the most interesting storylines will be on those of the unrestricted free agents, and we've got a few, but namely Bruce Irvin, Russell Okung, Seeezy, just to name a few. I'd say those are kind of the key ones that everyone's kind of wondering what's going to happen. Oh, Jermaine Kearse publicly stated or said to a reporter that he is looking forward to moving on to another team. So I'm surprised he was so direct with his comments, considering that free agency hadn't even started yet. But so I don't know. I guess I was hoping that Seattle I'd be able to keep him, but it sounds like he's looking to move on. But you never know. It takes two to tango, and he's got to find a team that's willing to pay him more, and we'll see how it all plays out. But free agency did already start with the Seahawks yesterday when they re-signed Theo Rubin for a 3-year extension worth about $4 million a year. So I was hoping they'd keep him, because I thought he had a pretty dang good productive season last year. Going on a 1-year deal, I thought he earned his stripes. He even got an interception in there amongst all his pretty impressive run-stopping ability. So so at least they got one of their tackles wrapped up for the next 3 years. They're still going to need more help in the interior line, because I think Mebane's another situation that don't know how that's going to play out. So yeah, a lot of needs to address. But I think, in my opinion, we are going to need to beef up. We're still looking for that ever elusive cornerback opposite of Richard Sherman. I think that's a big need. The O-line situation, I believe we're gonna lose one of the two that I mentioned, Russell Okung or Seeezy. My gut feeling is that they're going to let go of Okung, keep Seeezy, re-sign Seeezy, and then pick something up in the draft. And in the meantime, unless they can get a guy who can just outright start, at left tackle. They've got, I do believe they still have Alvin Bailey, and they could try Gary Gilliam over there at left tackle. I know it's a scary thought, being that left tackle is one of the most important positions on the offensive line, but Bailey has done all right in place of Okung when he's been injured, so we know there's a guy at least who's serviceable in there. So we'll see. And then I think our answers to running back are pretty clear, with Rawls having such a great season last year, and it looks like he's going to be coming back off his injury pretty well. And they will likely bring Krista Michael back, but I think they still need at least another guy there to compete for the position, and add a little bit more depth. You can't just have two. So, so those are kind of the I think the glaring needs. I also think that Seattle could also still use a receiver in there. If, assuming a Kearse leaves, our starting receiver is going to look like basically Baldwin, Lockett, and then you've got, really losing another receiver, because the other Lockett, Ricardo Lockett, who recently talked about how close to death he was after that Dallas injury that resulted in him being knocked out for the rest of the season, most likely for his career. And how, had that situation not been handled correctly, he could have been dead on the field because of the way his neck ligaments and muscles were so badly damaged. His head would have, any bad movement to his head probably would have severed his spinal cord. So he's very lucky to be alive, and given the severity of that injury, he's probably done playing football, I would imagine, the way that at least the way that he would play. So so really that's that's like losing two receivers from last season. So you hope that Paul Richardson can come back. He really hasn't been able to do much. The injuries have kept him off the field, and I think this is the one final chance he's got this season to prove his worth and finally have a breakout season, a full breakout season that we were hoping to get from him. So I still think so. We'll have definitely some speed at receiver, but I think we can still use one more big body in there to add to the core. So of course Jimmy Graham is going to play into that mix, but he may be late coming back to the season. So we'll definitely be leaning on some depth at tight end as well as wide receiver. So that's it. For the time being, like I said, I'm going to tackle those Ask Norm questions that you guys have sent in. Looking forward to doing that. And yep, tomorrow free agency officially starts, and it's going to be some crazy keeping up with all the transactions that'll be happening. So we'll see how many Seahawks will keep, and how many of those players will become ex-Seahawks. But anyways, good to be back. Sorry again for being so unplugged. I plan to post some of these videos of my recent trips to let you get a little peek into what the travels were like. It's quite the adventure the last few weeks. But yep, back to the grind. So I will be in touch with y'all. So thanks for watching, and yep, subscribe if you haven't yet, and go out.